Welcome back there, ladies and gentlemen. Arthur, right? Andrew. That's right. I knew that. He's are we gonna kill this guy? That's where we left off. If you think this guy's gonna die when we mix his pills, you just let me know. Say so in the chat. Be like, yo, that man he's about to die. You're gonna murder him. Yep.
The bottle is empty.
The bottle is empty. Let's just give him leeches then, right? Is this different? Yeah, I don't know if I could have put it on before. Just gonna dance real quick while I think about what's going on. It's what? Doctor... Recommended for use by men only. Interesting. It was empty though. I liked that. That was cool. Let's check around here again, just to double check. There's nothing we're missing.
The science of
We already looked at that. I could have sworn we were gonna find the meds there. This is locked. I just want to see if there's anything more.
They're all empty.
Not to mention...
Should we be speaking to somebody about this? The pill bot, I thought those were gonna be what we needed. I'm gonna check back in with the kitchen servant and see if maybe there's something I can interact with here that I couldn't before. You know?
Looks like the type of spice...
Okay. Spice.
It's time.
Alright, counterattack. We already heard those, so I'm skipping through those.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm...
Alright.
She still won't speak with me. Do we talk to the doctor outside? I'm assuming so. I'm assuming that's the next place we want to go. He obviously didn't take him, or else he'd be dead or out of it.
This Quack hasn't gotten anything.
So wait. So my goal is still, I believe, to find a stimulant for him to bring him out of his stupor. I'm hoping that if I leave, it's not the time passes and I have a limited amount of time in a day to do something. Does that make sense? Because I don't know. Because here's my next thought. My next thought, I might be able to find something at the university. Here, exactly here, in the haberdashery.
It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in
And
here.
if that's the girl, that might be the girl we need to talk to anyway. It is indeed.
One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though.
Look around for any...
Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty.
My guess is that there is a purpose that they serve.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliette Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Yep.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, what am I most curious in here? Let's see. Unfortunately, I don't feel like I have enough.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's
questions
premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliette definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
She's feeling very sincere to me right now. Her comment about the servants is confusing and interesting, but I'm feeling less confident about my theory that she was using herbs from here.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
Alright, well, that might give us something to go back and talk to the kitchen maid with.
So you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Too much attention, it becomes sick. Would you feel sick if you got too much attention from somebody, say, Albert? Let's finish this line of questioning, though.
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
But I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discovery soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
Okay. I don't feel too much from that one.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy.
Oh?
If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
That's, not untrue, but aggressive. She's feeling very, very real to me right now. But she still has to answer some questions about Albert, because as we know, she and Albert obviously are not in the same position with each other. We need to find out what she thinks about him now. If she believes this whole black magic, she doesn't seem like the kind of woman who would.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
That was an answer I'm glad I received. Yeah, obviously she was using Albert. Her stated reason is to get back at Mother. But she also mentioned that he used to fetch whatever she wanted, more or less. And I wonder what that may include. I wonder if that might include anything outside
I've
the
never
usual.
seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them?
Okay. Oh wait, maybe we should check out the contraption as well. Alright. That was not necessarily particularly helpful. Maybe let's see if we can't find... We still need to find something for... perking up our buddy. Oh. Coffee's a stimulant.
She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply.
Can I get myself some of the coffee? Consonants. Coffee.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the...
Okay.
That's enough about the...
Okay.
Alright.
That's it.
Then
That was not helpful. Coffee is a stimulant, though, and I am surprised.
If this is how they store their coffee beans, it's probably a better idea to ask for tea.
Listen, I don't need it other than to wake up our friend. You see.
All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
Grab one!
P.D. Preston's patented papier-mâché perambulat. Handsomely upholstered in silk. I suppose
Whatever.
if you and Adelaide...
Whatever. I am surprised that you're in a shop with lots of stimulant, which you need, supposedly, and yet you have not the mind to take any of it.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days.
Thanks. Thanks, bud. That's how to make me feel
Looks
bad.
like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then.
Exit.
Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum.
Alright. Obviously, we'll be talking to the police officer.
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb. If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
Yeah, let's talk to him. See if we can't
Good day
do
to you,
anything
officer.
with this.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
Okay.
But it's my dearly departed Aunt Hester's birthday today, and I always bring her flowers.
I'm sorry, sir, but I've got my orders. Come back in a few days. I can assure you, your aunt won't have gone anywhere.
Does it allow me to speak with him again?
Afraid please.
Ooh. Nope. No time. I cannot re-speak
Quack
with him.
says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Alright. That's not so helpful. What's left for us to check out? Besides going back to the place we've been already.
Ah,
This is next on
Compton
the list.
Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Bonbon's Restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for.
Oh my gosh, man.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport.
They've done an amazing job with these characters. Seriously. I absolutely love the characters in this game. I'm so impressed.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a
Not
private
so much.
investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Roch's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
Thank you. She
Welcome
might
to
have
my
a
home, Mr.
stimulant.
Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am.
Same.
I won't be staying long.
The Virgin Mary. I must admit she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
That's something I thought as
A
well.
rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves.
That was not a stimulant, though.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog.
Alright.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll
Gotta
try
talk.
to answer them the best I can.
Tea is a mild stimulant, I believe. I'm worried that there's something in the tea.
I think I'll take you up on your...
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Oh. Should I have found something out first?
Amazing! Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
Just in time.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very
Good.
kind, Mrs. Martin.
I'm gonna take some with me if I can. I don't know how I would do that,
I've got
to
a
be
few
quite
questions
honest.
for you.
I'll try to...
Not quite sure how I would. Alright, Albert
Do you
Martin.
think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
What do you know about Juliette, Madame Dupre's daughter?
Yeah.
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliette sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Alright, I'm definitely doing Albert's message first.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Rock is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job.
And this one might get me kicked out, but we gotta try it.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
No, Bill, I don't think I do.
Actually, never mind. I misspoke. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
How about that tea?
She's not going to be much help.
Aren't you going to have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into. Perhaps
Suture?
Could I have gone the other way and gotten the tea? I'd like to get the tea if I can get it.
Welcome back.
The curtain... I can't seem to have the tea. Okay. I have been everywhere now. With a few exceptions. Back home. I'm gonna go back home real quick and see if...
I've managed to survive the...
Good to see you've made... So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Actually, there is something I would like from you. I would like some stimulant.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Also,
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening. I always enjoy it when Joseph brings out his violin and we can relive the old days.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact same story whenever you visit.
They were very glad to see you, you know.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've invited us for dinner again in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling up to it.
yeah.
I hope I am. Do you know anything about Madame Dupre?
I've read that the Dupres are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively employ real people to serve. Rather commendable, don't you think?
Yes. makes it even more baffling why she was attacked. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about who might have wanted to harm her?
Nothing. She's held in the highest regard by the other Grand Dames. If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition her canonization.
Alright.
What's that you're reading?
It's a collection of short stories by James Penstroke. It was just published earlier this month.
Any good?
Oh yes, I love his work. He's been publishing a new serial in Brentwell magazine. I can't wait to read it. Perhaps we both can together? I think you'd enjoy him.
Lately, I haven't been able to concentrate on a page for more than 5 minutes without nodding off.
That is a pity.
How's work going? You have any appointments today?
Yes, one this evening. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball season, and all the Gascon Grand Dames will need their hair done. You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim? You've been looking awfully scruffy lately.
What's the point? I've got no need to go peacocking around town. You're the only girl for me.
I like it when you're clean cut. It brings out your eyes.
The way my eyes have been looking lately, I think it's best to keep them hidden.
Let's finish up this conversation with her. I don't feel like it's leading anywhere.
It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other these past few days.
I've been fine.
Addie, you're not a very good liar. What's on your mind?
I'm worried about you, Miles.
I know, but I've told you, there's no need to worry about me. I'm all right.
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but you can't fool me either.
I am all right. What do I have to do to convince you of that?
You could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine. It's turned you into a different person.
I needed to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even worse person without it, believe me.
I know Bill's death was hard for you. It was hard for all of us. But whatever it is that's bothering you, you know you can talk to me about it. That's what I'm here for.
I know, my love. Your support means the world to me. I need some time to deal with things. That's all. It won't always be like this, I promise.
Making promises you can't keep, eh, Miles? That'll end well.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Alright. Now we want the original goal. Do I have any stimulants?
You should have let me be buried wearing my hat. At least it wouldn't be gathering dust like it is now.
If I'd done that, it would be dust right now.
Heh, fair point.
Alright. Guys, I am not sure. I would have thought the coffee or the tea would have definitely have done it for us. Alas, it didn't. Now we got a little bit more information.
Have a lovely day, Addie.
Don't work yourself too hard, dear.
You don't have forever, though.
This Quack.
Alright, nothing more from him. I wonder if we've missed the ability to rouse him.
I have some Oh.
Alright, let's talk.
I found this
him
bottle of
the whole
pills
time?
upstairs. Are they yours?
Yes, I take those from time to time when I'm feeling tired.
You seem to be out.
Yes, that is a pity.
Where do you usually acquire them?
Oh, they're available by mail order only. I'll have to remember to request some later.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
Okay. So he doesn't have any more, supposedly. We've got some information about the help. So we're gonna try again. Speak with her.
Pardon me, miss.
I told...
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
Yes.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliette. Do I want to name drop? I don't know if I do.
That's what I do.
Is that right? Well, I don't like people spying on me. I'm sorry, but I don't talk to people I can't trust.
Ah,
Well,
shucks.
someone.
Pardon me, miss.
Go away.
Ah, shucks. Should have talked about she liked her. Oh no. Anything new from the parrot? I feel like I'm cutting off my own toes here.
Who's a pretty bird? So long.
I feel like I've just gone ahead and messed it all up for myself. We've got to be more tactful with this stuff. Have my goals changed at all? Only usable by men. The bookcase in here. Oh, the bookcase in the other room, actually. Hold on. Let's try that. Does the bookcase have a list of any medicines or anything? Do we remember if it does or if it doesn't?
Now that one sounds interesting.
No, okay. Choice and Consequence is still the one that
Choice and
looks...
doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it.
Okay, nothing helpful there. From what I can tell. We've already been in the drawers. Okay. What else can we do? We blew our lead over there. There must be more we can do. I want to find it. Let's try the coffee house now. If not, the next most obvious place to go is the, see if anything changed. Does talking to you give me anything interesting? Do you have hints for me?
Can we talk?
I've made an enemy.
I wanted to...
Okay.
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Lead.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes. That would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
I wish I had spoken to you first.
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
Madame Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Coffee.
Well, you know, we are in a coffee house.
Oh my gosh.
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more powerful than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Alright. Coffee isn't gonna do it, but I wish I had spoken with her about them earlier. That's my bad. Our latest lead, then, would be to go back to the cemetery, isn't it? Go back to the cemetery and try to see if we can yet again talk with the nice young police officer. Which we will promptly do at the start of next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for being here. Y'all been lovely. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves. I definitely bummed a little bit with the servant. I think that perhaps I can go back to Juliette and get something from her. Maybe that could allow me to reapproach that, but otherwise, I don't know. I may have missed out some important information. Something I could have used. See you guys.